Welcome back, dear viewers. And in this segment of our program, we will focus on President Fattah el-Sisi's tour to three African countries as the president arrived in the Angolan capital, Luanda, early on Wednesday. The president, the first Egyptian president to visit Angola, begins a three-leg African tour that is expected to take him to Angola, Zambia and Mozambique. To shed more light on the importance of this tour, we are joined over the phone by Ambassador Ahmed Haggag, former Secretary General of the Organization of African Unity. Good morning, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning.
So, sir, as I've just mentioned, that President Fattah el-Sisi has started a three-leg African tour. Can you tell us more about its significance?
Since several years, President Sisi is very careful to pay visits to many African countries and invite the heads of state to visit Egypt here. And those three countries which President Sisi is going to visit have never been visited by an Egyptian president before, except President Nasser, who attended an OEU summit, African summit in Zambia. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Ambassador.
Yeah. So this visit, which started with Angola, a relation between the two countries, started before the independence of the Republic of Angola itself, when the Movement of Liberation of Angola opened an office here in Cairo, through which Egyptian assistance, economic, political, was channeled. And Angola is a big country, the former Portuguese colony, and together with Mozambique, the difference between the British colonial rule in several African countries and the French and Portuguese, that Portugal transferred part of its population to be implanted in the population in those countries. That is why now the Portuguese is the official language of Angola and Mozambique. Zambia is a former British colony, and English is the official language. So the three countries are very important to Egypt, and to those countries, it will aim to strengthen bilateral relations. And also during the visit to Zambia, President Sisi, in his capacity as current chairman of COMESA, the Common Market of Eastern, Central, and Southern African countries, to the next president, who is the president of Zambia. President of Zambia paid an official visit to Egypt after his inauguration as the new president.
Yes, sir. Also in Zambia, the president is expected to attend the 22nd COMESA Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa COMESA Heads of State and Governments Summit. The summit is expected to be attended by heads of state of 21 member states of COMESA. So the importance of Egypt's participation in this event.
COMESA is the biggest the biggest sub-regional economic grouping in Africa. It has it comprises of 21 African countries, which a population of 600 million people. So it makes it as an important sub-regional economic groupings in Africa. And this is an importance not in its own importance as sub-regional economic grouping, but also in the present grouping of Africa declared free trade zone, which allows African products and services to be exchanged with other African countries without any custom duties or any other obstacle.
Yes. So, sir, also, why these three countries? As I've just mentioned, that Angola was not visited by an Egyptian president before. So, this is the first visit by an Egyptian president. So, how do you see this?
It's very important. It is the importance which we attach to many African countries. That Angola is a rich country, as an oil-producing country. It is a very important country in the southern part of Africa. It has, besides oil, very important agricultural production. So it's very important to establish an economic relations, strong economic relation with this country. Besides, of course, we have political consultation between the two heads of state.
So, sir, also Zambia is set to assume the rotating presidency of the Regional Economic Community from Egypt. How do you see the project of economic integrations between African countries? How can this be achieved?
I mentioned before that this is the most important sub-regional economic grouping in Africa. It is an integral part of not only the community in itself, but also as a part of the present African economic free zone, which comprises all African countries, including commercial countries. So this is an important meeting, which will allow President Sisi to establish contact and consultation with the heads of state participating in the summit.
So, sir, to what extent this tour demonstrates Egypt's prioritization of African issues in its foreign policy?
There is no secret that Africa is an important region which Egypt attaches great importance to strengthen its relations with all African countries without distinctions. And President Sisi and the Egyptian government spare no effort and opportunity in order to increase the relations between bilateral relations and also consultation on regional issues. The forthcoming summit of the African Union, what issues will be discussed, the point of view of Egypt in several African issues, especially the Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which he discussed with during the visit of the Mauritanian president few days ago. And about the economic integration in Africa and how Africa could cooperate among themselves to find a solution to the Russian-Ukrainian disputes, which affected the food security in Africa itself, since Africa is relying on imports of wheat from Russia and Ukraine.
Ambassador Ahmed Haggag, former Secretary General of the Organization of African Unity. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Dear viewers, a short break and we'll be back.